Hello again. In this lesson, what I'm going to do is going to show you how to set up a basic, simple website using Adobe Muse. Okay, so let's open Adobe Muse and I'll show you how to create a header, a footer, link pages, add a PDF, things like that. Okay, so click on Update Later. So Muse will load up now. Alright, so in Muse, just click on New. And what we might do is let's put our page width at 1200 pixels, okay, because that suits the widest screen, and change fluid to fixed width, and maybe let's just do about 3 columns, which will help us lay out our project. So we've got some grid lines in there. You don't need to touch anything else. That's fine. Click OK. All right, and now what you'll see is you've got a master page down here, and then you've got your home page up here. Now, your master page is the same as in InDesign. Anything you put on this master page will appear on every page that has the A master applied to it. Now, let's just click the plus button here a few times. This adds more pages to your website, and the first one's called Home. Let's leave it at that. If I double click that, I might just give it a name such as About, maybe Gallery, and Contact, just to say, give a capital C. There we go. All right, and now we'll mainly be working on our master page. So if you double click, this will take you to your Muse setup here. Okay, and look, Muse is very similar to InDesign. So if you know a bit of InDesign, which we've been doing, you'll pick up Muse quite easily. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to add a color browser fill. So you'll see up here, if you've got the Move tool selected, you can go to browser fill. I can make the whole browser one color, or I can just add, I could give it a gradient fill type thing, or I could actually add an image if I wanted to. So if I go back to solid, I'm just going to go back to white for now. I'm going to add an image to the background, and look, I'm just going to grab anything here. Now again, it's important that when you start building a website that you have all your assets, which is all your different types of files that you're going to use in it, in the one folder. All right, let's just open that up, and that'll open up like that. Now you could just play around with the fitting if you want to. Tile usually works pretty good, scale to fill and such. Okay, I'm gonna just leave it on tile for now. I'll go scale to fill, we'll see how that reacts. Now, you'll see you've got a bar here. Okay, you can move that up and down. That's your section for your header. We're just going to create a simple header with a rectangle tool. So let's drag a rectangle out here. Now let's snap it to the edge like that. And if we go to the other side and I get the Move tool, let's snap it to this edge as well. That way, when you resize your browser, it's going to resize that whole way, and I'm going to snap it to this line as well. Now there's no fill or stroke at the moment, so with the box selected, I'm going to give it a color of this color here. I'm not going to worry too much about making it look nice. I could give it a stroke if I want, but I'm going to leave it. I could also lower the opacity slightly like that, so that looks kind of cool, just like that. Alright, effects, I'm going to give it a drop shadow, and you can see the little drop shadow comes out there, and you can play around with the settings as you wish. Now to preview what we've been working on in the browser, hold command, press shift, hold it, and press E, and that'll export into the web browser. Okay, there it is there. Now, if I do this, for example, you can see it all kind of scales nicely together, so that's what we want. I'll go back to Muse. Now, the next thing that I'll want to do is, let's drag out some text. We'll create a footer, okay? Because most websites have a footer in it, which has, contact information and stuff like that. There's my color. I could get more options here. If I click text, all right, I can change the color, the font type, and all that. We'll talk about that more in class, but I'm just going to write Mr. Conomos on here. And now I'm going to change the size of my box so it's a bit neater. I'm going to drag it here. Now, if I want it to be a footer item, the same thing here. I've got this bar here, which is this section from here down to there is your footer section. So in order for it to be a footer item, I have to right click it and click on footer item. Now you'll notice I've got a tick there, so I can move it into the footer section, okay, and it'll always stay there when I preview the web browser. If I don't do that, what happens is, I'll just undo, it treats it as a normal image and it just resizes the browser. So I want to right click it, make it a footer item, and then it can't do that and put it where we want it to go. Alright, now the next thing is to drag out, let's create a navigation bar. Now to do that, go into your widgets library, and go into form menus, I think it is. Let's just drag out a horizontal menu, just like that. Now it'll automatically, if I go back here to our plan view, it'll automatically give us exactly the same pages that we added earlier, and if I add more pages, it will add them to my menu. Alright, so I'm just going to put this about here. You can resize it, okay, adjust it as you will. Also, there's some options in here. You don't really need to touch this. I'm going to leave edit together on, so when I change one box, it's going to do the same for all of them. Generally, that's probably good to have on. Now, if I click once, and you'll notice, I'll click it, and then I click again on home, you notice you've got menu item, or let's use this, let's go into state. So at the moment, this is its normal state, and it's got a fill of grey and a stroke, no stroke. I don't want any fill, I just want the text. I'm going to go here and I'm going to click none. And because we had edit together on, it's changed all of them. Now in its rollover state, so when the mouse rolls over the navigation menu, it's going to have this grey on it, which I might just leave. Mouse down, I might leave like that. Well, I might just take that off actually. Let's go to none, and let's go to active, and let's just click none as well. We can play around with all these different states. So you can also muck around with the transition if you want to. Now if I preview it in the browser, you'll see what's going to happen is when I roll over, it's going to do that. Alright, now these all should be linked up, but I don't have anything on my other pages at the moment, so look into that in a minute. So next thing to do is, if I click again, and if I go in another level, double click, I can change the, if I go into text, I can change the color of the text to black, and it's going to change all of the colors of the text. And I could even change the font style as well, and muck around with all these other settings if I need to. Right, now I could even, just with the text, if I go into states, say I go mouse down, I could, I'm in mouse down, I'll click on text up here, I might up the size of that, so when I press the mouse down, it's going to make it grow as I click on the mouse button. So let's preview that in the browser, Command-Shift-D. So I go hover and it's got that effect. If I click and it goes big, I let go and it's small again. Okay, about, same thing. Close these. So, I mean, yeah, just play around with the styling of it. So that's your navigation bar. Look, up here, you could drag out a text box, make the size reasonably big, and you could write a heading. Just put my name again, and you could drag that on top here like that. Again, if you want to arrange the elements, right click, just like in InDesign, arrange, send backwards, send to the back. It's very, very similar to InDesign. Okay, now that's the basic setup. You've got shape tools and stuff like that. If I wanted to, let's just go back here. For example, I might now start working on my home page. So what I want on my home page is I might want a video in there. So in order to do that, I can just go to the widgets library. This is the easiest way to add a video into Muse. Go into social, there will be a YouTube widget, drag and drop it, and that'll come up here. Now where it says you can muck around with some of these options here, I'm not going to, but if you click on the blue, where it says video ID, all you need to do is go to YouTube, find the video ID by clicking, finding the video you want, click on share, copy and paste, Command C, back to Muse, and open this tab up here, the little blue tab, delete all this, Command V, paste that there, and then you'll see that there's my video there. Now let's go Command Shift D, preview it in the browser, and there's my video there playing straight from YouTube. Okay, now if I want to put a photograph in or a graphic, let's just go to the About page. And again, same as in InDesign, you've got a rectangle frame tool. You can drag it out as big as you want. File, place, find an image. No, I'm not going to use that one again. I'll find something random, still life. I'll just use that. Okay. And click in there, and it's going to place it in there. And again, right click, you can go to fit in, and you can muck around with how big and small it all is. Alright, now the last thing I want to show you how to do is, I might just do it on the gallery page. I'll show you how to create a button and link it. So if I create a shape, I might just make a circle. Let's give it a stroke of red, fill of green, that will do. And I want to put a document for the user to download in there, such as a PDF document. All right, I can put a shape like this, and if I go into hyperlink, if I select the shape, go into hyperlinks, and then go to, I can link this to other pages. So you could press it, this turns it into a button, or I could link it to a file, which is what I want to do. And I'm going to find a PDF. I've got this one here, Photoshop C6 Unlocked. Open that, and now that is, if I click that, you'll see it's got the link to that PDF there. Command Shift E. Let's export it and preview it in the browser. And there's my PDF. Okay, now that's the basics. There is quite a bit to Muse. It's not a hard program. It's very similar to InDesign. What I would encourage you to do, depends how far you want to go with it, you might start designing a lot of your graphics and things in Photoshop or Illustrator and put them in InDesign. All right, and that I'll put them in Muse, sorry, and that works quite well. All right, so thank you for watching. So that's how you can create just a simple, basic website. So go off and explore and see what you can come up with. Thank you.